I think we're live now. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to day 4, session 2 of Prep for Wave Week. Going to make sure that we are live in the Facebook page. Share this to the Facebook group. We have what I am already feeling from our pre-conversation, a really great conversation coming your way. Give me just a few minutes. Okay, we're here. Okay, posted on all the things. So hopefully everybody starts joining us. But Margie, Aylin, thank you so much for being here with us today. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Margie,
I'm excited.
Yes. Oh, this is a good one. You had mentioned the word rant, and I'm like, I could rant about some of this stuff too on my end. So Margie, can you please give us a quick intro, who you are and what you do in the industry?
Sure. So my name is Margie Jordan, and I am a travel agency owner. I've owned my agency for 16 years now. I also am a vice president at CCRA International, and I manage and run the True Code program and our new host agency, Travel Advisors Global Network. So busy.
Awesome. I feel like many of us who have the different dual roles, we're always on the run on something.
Yep.
And Aylin, you also have many roles in this industry.
So I'm the owner and founder of Blanco Travels. It's a celebration, special occasion travel company. And I'm also the host of the Travel Agent podcast.
Wonderful, wonderful. And when did you start that? Because I think I've been at least a year listening to some of the episodes.
The podcast has been for over 2 years now. Okay. Almost 2.5.
Wow.
Awesome. That's great. Awesome. Congrats. It's a big feat in the podcasting world, especially to stay up and running. So building relationships, I think, is the secret that no one really talks about, but it's, I think, the simplest way to have success in any sort of business and just life skills. But as we're looking into wave season, what are some relationships that we should be really looking at in our travel businesses? And this can come from so many different avenues. So hit me with what you got.
Well, for me, with Wave Week just around the corner, literally it feels like it is. Revisiting, first of all, revisiting those relationships with your clients is hugely important, because every day there's some new change, regulation, or something in regards to cruising, in regards to travel, in regards to COVID. There's something new. And if we're struggling to figure it out, or we're struggling to keep up, imagine what your clients are thinking on the other end. Some of them probably still think they can't travel very far. And as those regulations are constantly changing, I feel like you should be in their inbox all the time, being the expert that you are, and keeping those relationships going, that you know what's going on as quickly as it's changing. You're keeping on top of it and kind of making them feel like if they're ready to get out there, you got this, you got this.
Right.
And to piggyback off of having it, one of the relationships that you should definitely maintain is your peers and your colleagues, because when you have all of these inquiries coming in, you may not have all of the information. So having a team assembled that you can get the information from, or brainstorm together, or use their connections, making sure that you're staying up and meeting new peers and different travel professionals in general, just so that you do have an arsenal ready to go when your clients are ready to travel.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I love that. And then we talked a little bit about supplier relationships yesterday. So that should already be kind of one of the foundations. So what are some places, if we're looking locally, especially, because I know we've done so much stuff digitally this past year. So we have a lot, or I would say we probably have a lot if we've been doing a little bit of networking in kind of worldwide and nationwide, building up those relationships. But locally, what can we do in our community to build some relationships and get more visible?
So So I'll tell you what I do. We were talking about this a little bit behind the scenes, but I've built up a relationship with my local media. So anytime anything happens in the travel industry, sometimes I get calls back to back to come down to the studio and be live on air. With the pandemic, we've been doing them via Zoom. They're still not allowing a bunch of people in the studios yet, but we will do it by Zoom. But I go live on air and try to stay in front of consumers, try to stay in front of as many people as possible. So I have to be the expert. I have to stay up on top of the regulations because I'm talking to my entire local city when I'm going on air. So yeah, building that relationship with the media. And I can tell you some crazy stories about when they call, but when they call, and you need to be ready to be on air. So forget the bad hair days. I don't look great. You can't have those if you're going to deal with the media. When they call, they literally want you. It could be like in the next 20 minutes. So you have to be kind of ready for that. But that's important to be that expert, at least in Jacksonville. They know I know what I'm talking about because they see me enough on air that they know they can call me and get the latest and greatest updates and what's going on.
Awesome. So how, go ahead, Aylin. I'll pin that.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say the local chamber and the SBA,
yes.
It's really, really good to be a part of those organizations because there are lots of other business owners. And so even if they're not in a position to be able to travel, they have a network of people. And it's also great for groups because that's where you make a lot of money, right? It's the groups. So those women's organizations, and right now, because small businesses have been really hurt over the last 18 months, there's a lot of opportunity, not just to get new clients, but to also get grants and just be in the know how your community can help you.
So true.
Yes.
That's a really great tip.
Kind of unpacking a little bit of both. So Margie, how did you create the relationship with the media? Did they find you? Did you find them? And how do you kind of maintain the relationship?
So they found me. One of the things I've been really good at over the years is when I try to disseminate information. This sort of happened when we were toying with the idea of Cuba opening up a bit more. So there was a lot of information that was coming out. And what I decided to do was to take that information and put it in layman's terms so people could understand it. Rather than just resharing articles about what was happening, I didn't reshare anything. I took all the facts, put it together, and typed out a long post about what this meant for you as a traveler. And the media saw it, and they asked me if I wouldn't mind coming down to the studio and talking about it. That sprung into constant stories of anything that was coming out. A lot of Cuba stories, a lot of stories around the pandemic. When COVID first started to become a thing, I think I was down to the studio 3 or 4 times a week, going live on air, just talking about what was going on and how this was affecting travel. And it became a relationship. So now they call me, they call my cell phone. I have their cell phone numbers. Multiple reporters will call another station I do some things for, but most everything is one particular station. But the relationship got so great that I went from that to local talk shows. And one of the local talk shows, I'm friends with the producer. Her and I would have lunch together, and I could pitch ideas to her, story ideas to her. And she's like, yeah, so why don't you come down on this day and we'll do that story on air. And so it's a fabulous relationship. If you can build a relationship with the media, and I'll tell you, your local travel organizations can help. So I know that we're part of Ensemble. I know ASTA does it. They have a whole media committee where you can get leads from reporters who are looking for stories. There are things like HARO, it's HARO, Help a Reporter Out. They also give you all sorts of leads. But if you can get in the reporter's inbox and they see you as an expert, I've done multiple things for Reuters. I've been in Chicago Tribune, Los Angeles Times, New York Times. I've been in Forbes. I've been in multiple publications. So just get in there. Just do it. If you can build that piece of your business and relationship, you won't regret it. I promise you, you won't regret it.
I love it. Love it. And then Aylin, going back to the events. So how can we find events like that with the SBA, Small Business Administration, and the Chamber?
Same thing I tell everybody, Google is your friend. You can find everything that you're looking for from Google. When I first moved back to Indiana, that was the first thing I did. I joined the Chamber, joined the Young Leaders, especially the SBA, because they have tons and tons of workshops and programs, and most of them are free. And so it's just a matter of looking it up and making a phone call or just showing up. Most communities, even very small ones, have a chamber and have an association, and that association actually goes bigger to the state chamber. So, I mean, there's just a huge opportunity to make friends and influence people through the chamber conferences and workshops.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know a big thing for me, and I know for many other people, is that confidence. Like, we don't feel maybe that we're worthy enough or that we know enough to get out there. So do you have any tips or anything that people can do to kind of like boost their confidence when they're starting to get out in the community, whether it's online, in person?
I'm going to let you go first on this one because you're on a podcast, so you've got all sorts of ideas.
I'm not shy, so that's actually one of my strong suits. But one of the things that I always tell people is that you are the best version of you. You are the only version of you. So just being yourself and going to these places should give you confidence, because there's not going to be anyone else there that's you and can provide what you can provide and know what you know. And even if you think you know very little, you know way more than the rest of the people in there regarding that particular topic. So it's just a matter of realizing that you're going in, most of the time you're going into a space where most people don't have any clue. The information and the time that it's taking you to get the little information you think you have. And a lot of times it's a lot more than a little.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the only other thing I would say is what I've done over time is, and it's weird, I'm good in front of a crowd. Give me a microphone or put a TV camera in front of me. I'm good. I will talk all day. I'm weird when it gets one-on-one and networking. I'm really weird about it. I'm so crazy. But I've started to tell myself that, you know, it's part of just getting out there and networking and being comfortable in your own skin. I don't go up, get in front of anybody, talk about anything I don't know about. That wouldn't make sense. I'm not a fake it till you make it kind of girl with that topic anyway. Mm-hmm. I can't do that. I can't talk about things I don't know about. So I feel really good with the things I do get up to talk about. And in my instance, if the media calls and wants to talk about something that I didn't know was going on, we just, like she said, Google is my friend. Mm-hmm. There's 100 million articles out there I can read up on, and to make sure I've kind of got the background I need to get up there and talk about the topic we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. So don't discount yourself, because everybody has a talent. Everybody has a viewpoint and an opinion. Yours might be different from mine. It doesn't make either one of us right or wrong. It's just a different opinion. And get out there and give the world what you have to offer. I mean, don't downplay yourself. You've got a lot to offer.
And two other, sorry.
No, go ahead.
And two other things. The first one is, typically, if you feel that way, there's probably multiple other people in that room who feel the exact same way.
Yes.
So don't go in there thinking that you're, alone. And the second thing, and I learned this and it sounds weird, but someone recently asked me, like, why do you go by Lynn Blanco? Why do you say that all the time? I have found that saying my whole name when I'm introducing myself to people, or just in general, somehow it just gives more confidence. And so at first it was weird and I felt really uncomfortable, but now it's like, and you'll notice people who seem really confident, they may not be, but they always say their whole name when they introduce themselves. I don't know what it is.
I'm going to second that, because there's somebody that works at CCRA and he always makes us use his middle initial. And I was always trying to figure out why. And it's exactly the same reason. Yeah.
It exudes confidence.
Yes.
I have
so I'm Margie A. Jordan, just to say that. Okay.
And I use my middle initial, Rita M. Perez, but I need to start like physically saying that more. So I'm going to take that. I have to post up what Eva Jordan Johnson, she said, do it afraid.
I love Eva.
So
Eva, and I'll tell you what, there's sometimes when you stop yourself from doing things, because I have this amazing podcast idea that I've also shared with you before, and I have yet to do it because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, Margie, who's going to pop on and listen to you? But it makes no sense because I will get in front of a news camera or on a stage and talk to everybody in the world. You always have these weird things that are just kind of weird for you to do, and other things that you can do easy. You just got to do it. You just got to do it.
The word
2022.
Yeah, the word that always comes to mind is bold, that you have to be bold. And I remember, and some of my friends are here, on our fam trip in July, we did a fam on the Ama Siena with Sandra McLemore.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, there's no time but now that I can get FaceTime with Sandra, that I can get FaceTime with Janet Bava. So I need to, even if I'm not confident, it needs to happen. So you need to like rip the Band-Aid off fast and make it work.
I like that. Sometimes we don't want to rip that Band-Aid off, but it's part of you growing. It's a learning experience, and it's a growth opportunity for you. One of the sayings I love is, all of your dreams are on the other side of what you're scared of.
Love that.
And what's the worst that can happen? Like, I feel like I have to say that a lot. And when you look at children, because my kids are little, so I always use them as a reference, but like, they're so fearless.
Yeah.
And even though like we know the consequences and we're like, oh, be careful. Like, they're just so fearless and they just do it. And I don't know when we lost it, but especially when you're networking, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, most likely, if you don't want to, you never have to see that person again.
Right.
Like, so, and if there is an interaction that isn't so great, there's always an opportunity to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I always like to also say that even if something doesn't come from it right now, that doesn't mean that something in the future, a couple months, a year down from the line, something doesn't come right back from that time investment that you've made in networking. Jackie added, using your entire name also makes you easier to find on Google. Great for SEO.
Love it. Yes. Miss Jackie. Love her too. I know all these people, so I'm like, okay, love her too.
You've got a great group. What are your ladies' thoughts on your network is your net worth?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That is true. That is the truth.
Absolutely. I just, nobody does it alone. And if you think you are, somebody's misinformed you. Nobody does it alone. If you haven't built a team to help you, in my mind, that's a legal person, that's a financial person, even a therapist, because my God, you're going to have those days, and your travel agent advisors who don't sell what you sell, but are experts in what they sell. If you don't have that team with you already built, you need to start over and do it. You don't do this by yourself and get successful. There's marketing people. There's all sorts of people that become mentors to you that you can ask questions to and kind of guide you along. Oh, you have to have them. Without them, you don't have a business. You don't.
And as far as your client base, I've had multiple conversations that you have to put yourself out there. If you are not in the circle of the clientele that you're trying to serve, then you're going to have to figure out where they are. Going to have to figure out how to introduce yourself and put yourself on that same level, because we're all here. It's a job. We're trying to make some money. So if you're trying to get those clients who are booking $50,000 and $100,000 a year travel, then you need to be in their circles. You need to be in their organizations, right? Because they're not going to buy from you if you're sitting in your basement.
And when you get into those circles, that's a referral business. That's because somebody knows you who knows you and they work with you. It's not because they saw an ad on Google. It's not. It's really not. So you better get in those circles if that's the client you're looking for. Yeah.
Right. And that's why I say, like, I held myself so far behind for so long because I was so nervous to put myself out there, because I was thinking networking was very like sales, like ooh, I got this red pen. Don't you want this red pen? You should buy it from me. So when we're thinking, once we start putting ourselves out there, how can we really appear more that we're coming out of service and that we want to help potential clients instead of, you should buy my travel stuff?
I'm a big fan of just honesty. The best way I can say it, and I handle this across all lines of business, no matter what I'm doing or I'm working for. If I'm not the right person to work with you, I'm just going to tell you that. You know, if I can't service and do for you what I think you need, I'm never going to just come in and think I can service everybody. Me, my clients, and myself have a relationship. And if I don't feel like we're a good match, number one, I'm not going to work with you. And number two, I'm going to be bluntly honest. I've had numerous people, even friends, who call me up and they want to do all these fancy trips. And hey, Margie, I want a first class ticket. And I'm honest. I was like, you don't want a first class ticket. I mean, I know you do, but it's not not being rude, but I know this part. It's not in your budget. And they're go, well, what's the price? When I tell them the price, you get this look. You know, and I said, I'm being honest with you that this was not in your budget. I understand you want this level of trip, but you're asking me for hotels that are like $200 to $300 a night. You can't do that, you know? So I'm not brutally honest, but I'm honest in what my capabilities are, what client I want to work with. And I'm not the travel advisor for everybody. And I don't want to be. I try to cultivate people I can build great relationships with, to the point where I call, the kids answer the phone and they're go like, Mom, it's Margie. They all know me. You know, we're all like friends and family. One of my clients wanted to teach me to swim. I'm like, stop it. But we have relationships beyond just, you know, that. And they begin to trust you. So for me, all of it is about just being honest in what we're doing. And if you're trying to go somewhere and that I know better than to send you there, you think you want to go there, but that's not really where you want to go. Let me tell you why. It's that relationship for me. My whole business and everything that I've done has been built off of that honesty and building true relationships. So clients are friends, you know, they know me well. We have fun together.
I will say, I've been in sales my whole life. I'm a middle child, so I had to sell my parents on why they should get rid of my siblings to hang out with me, right? And so I realized a long time ago that people buy from people they like.
Yeah.
And so I've naturally just been kind of friendly, and strangers remember me and be like, oh, I remember you said, and I always feel bad because I don't really remember them, but it's just being nice. Sometimes it's really just someone may have been having a bad day, or just saying hi in an, you know, in a networking situation. They may have overheard something that might be interesting and just come to you because you were nice to them, or they see that you are a kind person when you're around other people. So even online, like, I don't know, I think it's natural, but people like, you just look friendly, and yes. A lot of business have just come from there. So it's really just about being who you are, like truly learning yourself, loving yourself, and letting that shine through.
I love that. I love that. The authenticity. And that's also what weeds out who is not right for you. If they don't like your personality, then they weren't going to work well with you anyways.
You know, it's like we say now, if you don't like me, just get off my page. Right? Just get off my page. Don't even stay there, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to get some questions. So advisors, if you're watching us, please submit any questions to the comment section. Jackie says or asks, what's your tip of building relationships on social media when social media isn't your thing?
Well, do you have to build them on social media? I mean, that's not your only option, right? I mean, we've made it, I think in this day and age, we've made social media our only option. So if the connection starts there, then build it in whatever way is most comfortable to you. It may not be social media. Take it offline if that's a better way for you to connect with somebody. It doesn't have to be social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate social media. Like, just FYI. You see my face all the time, but I hate social media. And
it's annoying.
It's fun now because I've just decided I'm throwing it all out the window. I'm just going to do stuff that makes me happy, that makes me feel good. I post when I feel like it. I do videos when I feel like it. And if people like it, they do. And if they don't, that's none of my business. So,
you know, if you're not following her, you need to, because she's like gone all out there. And I'm gonna tell you what, though, what it's done is I feel like now I'm getting to know you. I feel like now I'm getting to know who you are and the things that make you tick, what makes you happy, what's on your mind. Whereas before it was just, you know, pictures. It was just pictures. And we don't do enough of that. We're not authentic on social media. We're somebody else. You know, there was this meme, and this is bad to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. There was this meme they were posting around Halloween that said, you know, what costume should I wear, or who should I be for Halloween? And the meme said, you should be whoever you're pretending to be on social media. I fell out laughing. I'm like, oh my God, that's so true. But we're not authentic there. So I can see why building relationships there feels weird, because nobody's authentic. We're all retouched and airbrushed, and you know, we're in our perfect selves. So take the relationship off of social media if that's more comfortable.
Or just be you on social media. Like, there's just so many gurus saying you got to do this and you got to do that. And as soon as I stopped listening, I actually was paying someone to do my content for a while. And you're right, it was just pictures. There wasn't hardly any engagement. Like, I didn't even recognize the person that she was putting up. And finally I was like, I'm just going to do what makes me happy. And I think once people start to do those things that make them happy inside, because it's true, if you're not authentic anywhere, you can feel that. And so I was just like, screw it. Let's just be me. And if they love me, they do. And if they don't, you know, not taking that to heart. But it's the only way that you can truly win, and is being yourself.
Completely agree.
Yeah. And that, it also makes me think about like the great social media blackout of 2021. when that happened, I know everybody was like, and this is why you should have email marketing, which yes, but then it also made me think, like, for me personally, I wasn't too nervous that social media went out because I have created offline relationships. And that also made me think, okay, what else do I need to be doing to keep cultivating those offline relationships so that I'm not so dependent on social media? So it's like it's a love-hate game with social media for me personally. So any other questions? Let's see. I'm going to pop up some contact information as we are wrapping up. Oh, question just, no, just kidding. I thought a question popped up, but it did not. So here is how to get a hold of Margie. And do you provide any support for the industry, Margie?
Well, it depends on what you need. I'm always here to answer questions, to have a conversation. I'll jump on a phone call with anybody. Everybody knows that. So you just tell me what you need, what you're looking for. And if I'm not the right person, I probably know somebody that is.
Awesome. All right. And then, Aylin, how are you? I mean, you have the podcast. You have, tell us a little bit about your upcoming FAMs.
So I have 2 FAMs, and I'm really, really excited because I feel like it goes back to relationship building. So for me, it's different. When you are building relationships with suppliers and tour operators, it's got to be more than just that one touch. And I feel like a lot of times we go on these FAMs, we have like that dinner interaction, and then it's over. So with these FAMs, we actually build relationships before, during, and after, because we're all working together to figure out how we can market together so that we can all win. Also, one of the biggest issues that we've been talking about is social media. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Most travel professionals are not great content creators because we're trying to mimic everybody else, and it doesn't work for us. And so I'm bringing along a travel blogger, a travel photographer, and we are going to create content for everyone so there's this bucket of high quality content that you can use that you're in. Because a lot of times we're out here with the selfie stick and like, it's a mess. So this way you walk away with a real relationship, because we're teaching you how to network and how to build a relationship with the suppliers. You're walking away with content, high quality content with you in it, so that your clients can see what you're doing, and also a full, I don't want to call it a marketing plan, but like a strategic way to use the content and those relationships to better serve your clients. So it's not just a FAM, it's really like a whole experience. But it's in January, we're going to South Africa, and in March, we're going to Thailand. So
nice.
I'm really excited.
Nice.
That, and I will add to that, like, make sure you're actually selling, or those are the things that you want to sell before committing yourself to the FAM trip.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Margie and Aylin, for being here. This was such a fun time. Oh, wait, we might have something else. Oh, Eva just had to add, it sounds awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here. I have enjoyed our time together. Thank you, advisors, for tuning in, being so interactive with all of your comments on this session. Make sure that you're following both Margie and Aylin on their channels. If you have purchased Study Hall, I'll see you in just a few minutes. And then tomorrow is our final day of Prep for Wave Week. We are going to be talking about actually attracting clients not on social media and crafting a memorable client experience. So I will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.